Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Yaassen Barnes, and this is the Muslims Connected podcast, a podcast for those seeking growth and progression in their lives. Today, we are joined by the CEO, big title, of Awqaf, Mr. Buta, Uncle, Mickaeel Collier.
Shukran. Thank you for having me. I don't know if I'm quite a mister. Well, I am a mister because I mean in today's world that could be a very challenging comment to make. But Buta uncle, I don't know. It always feels a bit weird when you have people saying Uncle Buta Mickaeel. So anyway, whatever goes.
I feel like Buta and Uncle is one of those terms where someone calls you that it's a sign of respect, but at the same time it also means like, please, just lower myself for that. So CEO is a big title to hold. But when we went through your bio, they said that you had leadership roles from 12 already. Where and how does that start?
So I went a few years earlier to school than is normally
Makes sense.
expected. So at the age of 12, I was at South Peninsula High School
Shout out to SP.
in grade 6. Standard 6 grade, grade 8. And there was a dying Islamic students movement at the time, called the ISM or ISM. ISM is also synonymous in Arabic with name or so. So it was about identity and those type of things. And I naturally, from the family background that I came from, my father was a teacher, he was a political activist, he was an athlete. At the time when he was running, he ran the fastest 100 and 200 meter in Africa.
Wow.
So if you look at me, I've definitely got my mother's genes, right? But at the end of the day, I think that that foundation that he laid, and my mother was also politically conscious and active, and we were always exposed to community events, political events, part of the anti-apartheid struggle. I recall that, and something that I reflect on maybe as an adult and later on in life, that you have certain defining moments in your experience that defines who you become later on in life. At the time, those moments are not necessarily important to you, but you reflect back on what those moments meant and how it impacted you. And there were a few incidents that I can recall. I think I was about 5 years old when my father was arrested, and he was incarcerated along with Dala Umar and Derek Naidu, and there was a young Ibrahim Rasool also in Victor Verster at the time. I think they were there. And every Sunday, my mother, Dala Umar's wife, Auntie Farida, and another inmate's wife, we would trek to Victor Verster prison to go and visit them. And obviously, because the breadwinner is not in the house, you have limited access. But we never felt it. You weren't conscious of it as a child. And I recall an incident later on in my life that actually was part of shaping that experience or that leadership calling or that need to serve. I was visiting my father and seeing him through a thick glass. And because there was no money, they would prepare sandwiches as patkos, but it was a cheese sandwich with white bread. And throughout the visit, my father was looking at the sandwich and not at me. But as a 5-year-old, I didn't connect as to what was going on. And later on in life, I realized, hey, but that guy was on a hunger strike. So that sandwich to us was a cheese sandwich, but to that guy in prison, that was actually what he was, fixated on. And, various other things. And I mean, I think it was standard 3, grade 5. And there was some political prisoners who were about to be hanged under apartheid regime. And he told me, you must take these pamphlets and give it to your friends at school to take home. And I thought to myself, yeah, it's not something cool to go and take political paraphernalia to school and hand it out and tell your friends to take it home. And I remember, and sorry for the name, but I remember this friend of mine, classmate, his name was Yaassen. And I
Sorry
gave
for
it
the
to
name.
him.
Let's say, mashallah for
No,
the
but
name.
you'll hear why. Sorry for the name. But he took the pamphlet and he crumbled it up and he threw it in the bin. He said, "Don't give it to me. What you doing giving these things?" And I went into attack mode. And I explained to him, I said, "What about your father if he was about to be, executed and all these things?" And the second profound incident in my life was where Yaassen then came and he took the paper out of the dirt bin, he straightened it out, and he said, "I'm taking it home." So that kind of laid the foundation to say that you've got to serve and there is meaning to serving.
So what you've learned in your life is that Yaassin's start off rough and then we get better.
Yeah. I think that it's the consciousness that we have got to transmit about, firstly, issues around truth, justice, and standing up for that which is right.
So it's also, I feel like you've learned some big lessons from a young age already. Firstly, to see your father go through such trouble, and then also going, I need to still fight the cause at home. And then also teaching I think is a big lesson that you learned there also, to go that someone can be wrong, but they can come around if we just keep giving for them.
And I think it's also the fact that you must never lose hope in humanity. Sometimes the way in which we transmit the message, we expect people to naturally be aligned to a certain type of thinking, or to it's like almost like, why can't they get it?